Welcome back, everybody. Super duper excited. Got my new friend Clifford Walker on the show today. He has an amazing story and doing some really, really cool stuff. And I can't believe as many times I've been to Dallas, Fort Worth area, we haven't run into each other. With a guy with a cowboy hat like that, you would think that that I had. Clifford, I'm going to let you give yourself a little intro. Tell everybody kind of who you are and just how did you even get started in real estate before we even get into the cool stuff you're doing today.
Woo, doggy. What is
All
going on, brother? First off, let me say it's a blessing and it's an honor and just a privilege to be here, chat with you, hopefully add a little value to your
Yeah.
listeners and to your community and stuff. So no, I'm definitely excited about this for
Cool,
sure.
man. Happy to have you on.
Um, but a little bit about me. I'm trying to figure out how far down this rabbit hole I want to go. But
Yeah.
it's funny. I was a truck driver before I
Oh,
got started in real estate investing. I've
okay.
been doing it 6 years now, full time,
Yeah.
and just kind of went down this rabbit hole. I remember driving in West Texas. Shout out to all of my truck drivers. I don't see how they do it,
Yeah.
but I absolutely hated truck driving.
Really?
And so when I was in West Texas, I happened to hear a podcast about a guy out in New York talking about how much money he was making
Mhm.
wholesaling real estate, and I was like glued to that steering wheel, and that
Really?
seemed like I'm like, what, wholesaling real estate? I remember coming home and telling my wife, like, babe, we're gonna be wholesaling real estate, and she's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But that just went down. I ended up going down this rabbit hole, attending every conference, doing every training,
Mhm.
doing as much as I can, all the YouTube university, until I finally just ended up getting my first coach and mentor that really kind of showed me and taught me the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hadn't looked back now.
So were you doing, just for me, were you doing over the road stuff or kind of, what do they call that? Where you just go out for, I know there's a different term when you're just
Yeah,
kind of back every day
like
or you're
line
gone.
hauler, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would do. I did kind of regional. I did a lot of the Midwest. So I'd be from Dallas all the way up to like North Dakota.
Oh,
Uh,
geez. That's a long
so
way.
I'd be out typically a couple weeks at a time, just
Mhm.
depending. Hmm.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. So yeah, fell into the rabbit hole of
exactly.
uh of real estate, which is cool. Nice. I love that. And that's what's great about podcasts and all the different mediums that are out there is there's so many ways to get information, but there's a lot of information and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes
Yeah,
it's 20 years old, right?
yeah.
So yeah, I think getting a coach was important. What kind of what got you to that step? Were you looking for somebody local in Dallas? What was that step like?
I think it was just I went to a live 3 day event here in Dallas, and I did. I just resonated with the guy,
Hmm.
and he was local, so that was just a little icing on the cake there.
Yeah.
And we actually became really good friends and still friends
Uh-huh.
to this day. But it was just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, this is it. If I'm going to really get started in real estate investing, let me go ahead and invest in myself and
Yeah.
take this serious. And I think that can be a big game changer for a lot of people too,
Mhm.
because I'm noticing like so many people just dabble
Yeah.
in it, or they like the thought of doing real estate
Yeah.
investing and they don't go all in. And
Mhm.
like actually how's the saying go? When you pay attention.
That's right. That's true. That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was one of those things for me.
So, Clifford, what was like when you wanted to make that switch? Do you have kids or anything, or just you and your wife?
Oh yeah, I got grown babies.
Oh, okay. Well,
19 and 22.
dude, you're not old enough to have kids that. You don't
Oh
look
yes,
old enough to have
sir.
kids that old. That's
That
crazy.
it's good bourbon.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, yeah, yeah. You need to come to Tennessee. We got some good stuff here.
Oh yes, y'all do.
So, like, yeah, what was that conversation like? Was it like, hey, I'm gonna kind of do part time. I'm gonna dabble
Mhm.
in it a little bit. Surely you didn't just the next day quit your trucking job.
I did quit within 3 months of getting started. And so it and kind of to paint a little bit of a backdrop, like
Mhm.
when I say that I didn't like truck driving was an understatement. Like I hated it.
Yeah.
Like I felt like God was truly calling me for something else. I am a man of faith, and so it was one of those things where I was gone over the road. I was missing my family. Like, and I did that for 7 years. And not only that, you'll be surprised how sitting and driving for 11 hours will take a toll on your body. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sleeping in the back of a truck. I'm showering at a truck stop. I'm
Mhm.
eating at a truck stop. Like, yeah. And so when I got started, I would literally be sitting and calling while I'm going down the highway
Mhm.
for 10, 11 hours a day, like a
Really?
madman. With my phone, I would download all of the pre foreclosure list, the probate list, as much as I could. And I would be with a highlighter calling, scratching it off, calling, scratching them off, like not making any excuses.
Yeah.
And I ended up like getting 6 deals like in 1 month just from cold calling. Insane.
While driving down the road.
While driving down the road. And what's funny
That's
is
great.
I even filled the bed of my truck up, my 18 wheeler, with bandit signs at the bottom. So when I was at these warehouses getting unloaded,
Yeah.
I would be filling out those bandit signs, we
Mhm.
buy houses. So when I got home, I could
Yeah.
immediately put them out. So
Nice.
it was a huge action taking
Yeah.
season. Like it was like I need to get out of this truck for the
Mhm.
sake of my life. That's
Right.
how I felt. And I know that sounds extreme, but that's kind of where I was at mentally.
Mhm. Well, I think that goes to show like real dedication. And I went through not nearly not that, but when I left Central Florida, it was the recession was just beginning to hit and
Yeah.
shut everything down. We came to Chattanooga, and literally, it was the only thing I did from the minute my feet hit the floor in the morning till I took my feet off the floor and went to bed. It was the thing that we did all day long.
Yeah.
So that's that's the level of commitment that it takes to have rapid big success. Now, of course,
Yeah.
everybody's got to work on their own schedule. So 3 months, you got 6 deals. Were you able to wholesale them? Like, did they go through? Like, tell me
Yeah.
about those.
Yeah. Wholesaled all of those. I don't remember how many of those actually closed.
Yeah.
I feel like four or five
That's
of them
pretty
actually
good, man.
closed.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Um, and it's crazy. Like, were y'all around 6 years ago? How long have y'all been around?
I've been doing this since 2002. I'm 23, 20, coming up on 23 years.
Uh-huh.
But Easy REI Closings has been around since 2021 or
Okay.
2020. I'm sorry. Yeah. So we're coming up on 5 years.
And it's insane to me
Mhm.
how like now is the absolute best time for
100%.
anybody to be in real estate investing.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking like how amazing it is to have you guys easy REI close that literally makes it easy
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Yeah. The name was
close.
inspired.
Exactly. Like make it easy to close on deals and for people to just move on.
Hmm.
Because that's one of the biggest mistakes I think that new investors make, or it's a mistake that I made. I would get a property under contract,
Hmm.
stop what I was doing, try to get it dispoed and get it closed and doing all that transactional coordinating work.
Hmm.
And then like I stopped my lead flow. So
Yeah.
now I'm kind of starting all the way back over. But now we can just pass the baton to you guys. It's insane that investors have that opportunity now.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons we really started the company. And not that this isn't a commercial for us, but we just realized that you're trying to do so much stuff, especially if you're
Yeah,
even still working another job, how difficult it is. But, to go back to where you started, like the industry has changed so much since I started in Read Rich Dad Poor Dad in 2002, right?
yeah,
Like now, you don't need to hire in all these people and build out these big, massive teams that have this enormous office like home investors used to want you to have. You can run a very small, lean, mean, tight, fighting machine, right? Like you can have that kind of a business and literally just outsource the parts of your business that you don't want to do to start with to other people, whether it's PPC or bookkeeping or property management or accounting or transaction coordination, and you can at a really a huge discount, so much cheaper than bringing in your own people and trying to do all of that. So I
yeah,
do think the industry is in a great place. I think it is the golden age of wholesaling where so many people can come into this industry, where there are great coaches, where you can come in, find somebody local who's in your area or somebody that you resonate nationwide, and get the guidance and help that you need, because doing this on your own is Man, it's tough.
It's tough.
You know,
Yeah.
I there was one guy on YouTube when I started, Ty the Flip Man Taylor out of Birmingham, Alabama,
Uh-huh.
and I watched a ton of his videos. But short of that, man, I had to get me some coaches
Yeah.
because there's just a lot of just moving parts.
Yeah.
So 3 months, and then you decided, how'd you break that to your wife? Hey, I'm gonna be home all the time. Also,
You know what? Shout out to my wife. She's
yeah.
extremely, I couldn't imagine doing this without her
Hmm.
because, like, she was so supportive. It was insane. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't say, oh, no, don't do this, or what if it doesn't work? Like, be mindful. We got full blown mortgage, full blown kids, full
Yeah.
blown responsibilities. And
Hmm.
for us to take that massive leap of faith together and say, hey, we're going to be doing this. I think
Yeah.
it showed a lot of her willingness and not just faith in me, but faith in God. And so
Yeah.
it really wasn't that bad. Like, I think she saw how serious I was
Hmm.
about real estate investing and making this work. And I think that's kind of what gave her some peace too.
Yeah, 100%. You have to have that belief system and that the faith and just doggedness that, hey, I'm going to see this through. But how great was it to have just a partner that was on board with you? When I started this, I tell people I was married, I had a wife, two boys, and three fat dogs, and yeah, everybody was on the plan. Like everybody was in the let's make this happen, and it just makes it so much easier than family members who are like, you're crazy, real estate's a scam,
It
all that kind of
does,
stuff
yeah.
that some people have to deal with.
And so I think that's just a nugget for everybody too. Like,
Mhm.
number one, you need to be careful the partner you choose. I know this is a real
Yeah.
estate investing, but that's a
Yeah.
whole nother topic. But then secondly, have some commitment. Again, I think it was the level of commitment that my wife saw, where I told her, like, I'm willing to give all this up to make
Mhm.
this work.
Yeah.
And she was literally, she said, it's not going to come to that, but
Yeah.
let's go. Like,
All right. That's
and
so powerful and so just incredibly important. Because I've had friends and students and clients who, yeah, somebody doesn't believe in what they're doing, and man, I just you just constantly have somebody in your ear, da, 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 all the time telling you not to do this or go get a regular job or do something like that. So yeah, so you tell her, and then kind of where does things go from there?
um, just a roller coaster. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a journey to where I started getting so many deals, especially like that first year.
Hmm.
And then what ended up happening, remember the coach that I talked about that I
Hmm.
got?
Yeah.
Well, all of his members were like, well, what is Clifford doing?
Yeah. Following the instructions. That's what he's doing.
Exactly. So much so to where I started inviting everybody over to our house and they would literally watch me work. It was crazy.
Oh my.
And so it started to be so many people. My wife was like, stop bringing people over to our house.
This is where I draw the line.
Exactly. And so I'm telling you, we had the full dining room table filled, stuff everywhere. But anywho, um, the my mentor ended up having to rent conference rooms because so many people just wanted to see what I was doing and hear me make calls.
Yeah.
And so we ended up calling this thing called marketing madness. So
Yeah.
we would come, we would have our laptop, and we would just be talking to sellers, hammering calls, sending
Nice.
text messages, like live real time. And then that ended up what just sparking like the coaching side of things.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was something that I was interested in or something
Hmm.
that I even had a passion for.
Yeah.
I just kind of fell into it by just doing the thing. And
Hmm.
then so many people gravitated to what we were doing and
Yeah.
how I was doing it to where that's where, I went on and ended up coaching for him for his community for several years and then ended up launching our own community. And it's just been a growth journey, a roller coaster, but a growth.
Yeah, man, Clifford, I think that's where probably some of the best coaches come from. They don't, intend on, because there are certainly people in our business, I'm sure you know them, but just this huge money grab, and I'm just going to coach because it's easy money. It's easier than going out and actually doing the business.
Yeah.
But the people who come from it, honestly, of just wanting to help and and have a community, and we could talk about how important community is. But I think that's probably why people resonated to you, because you're really doing the business and you just wanted to help them.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's amazing. Like, and I truly believe in what we do as real estate investors.
Sure.
Like, I believe that we are building generational wealth by serving other people,
Yeah.
right? Like, these families are going through foreclosure, divorce, uh,
Yeah.
probate. They lost a loved one, right? Like, that's a really tough season in their life.
Hmm.
And so being able to come in and provide a solution to guide them through that is in my opinion an amazing gift and an ability to help people through those
Hmm.
tough seasons.
Yeah, I do think investors play a very important role in the real estate world. Not every, but not an agent is not the answer for everybody. There's
Yeah.
not an answer for a lot, but there are people who need a quick solution today. I always tell people, the people that want to work with us are the people that are losing sleep at night over a property or over a deal or a house or
Exactly.
whatever you want to call it. And they need us to come in and help them and bring some expertise. Some,
Mhm.
how to solve problems, how to get these deals done, how to make the numbers work or get creative or whatever it is that solves their conundrum, so to speak. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think there's always going to be a spot for people like us that can come in and and help them get through those the tough days with that property.
Exactly. And so that's why I think it's important too, like you said, that we're a part of, or people are a part of communities,
Hmm.
getting the expertise, because again, there's so many different rabbit holes and avenues that we can go down to serve. And we
Yeah.
need to make sure that we're kind of doing it at the highest level possible.
Yeah.
But no, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Cool. So you're doing deals for a few years, and you sort of got into coaching.
Mhm.
What when you made the decision to go out kind of on your own and do coaching, what were some of the things that were most important to you? Things that you wanted to make sure that you did that was different maybe than everybody else.
So our community, the Real Estate Corral Investors Network, is a community that is built on serving other people.
Love it.
That's not just a slogan because I think it sounds cool or cute. I truly believe that God put me on this planet to be of service at the highest level that I possibly can.
Yeah.
All of our community members have that same kind of giving, serving spirit,
Yeah.
right? I think that that's the difference between somebody that's in this industry in and out, and even somebody with longevity. Because I'm sure as long as you've been doing it, there's probably some people that are no longer in the industry.
Oh gosh, that's we could do a whole nother podcast on that. Yeah, the people that come in and they don't stay focused, they're bouncing around. Um, they don't have that staying power. But one thing I like to say about real estate, first off, our job as investors is to help people.
Yeah.
Like that's why we are here. We get paid really great to do that, but we're here to help people. We're here to help those
Mhm.
people that are losing sleep at night. Um, so every situation that we come into, it's our job. We're like Boy Scouts. It's our job to leave it better than we found it, right?
Yeah.
Now the great thing about wholesaling is good for anybody. Any person can come into wholesaling and have
Exactly.
great success, right? Black, white, purple, tall, fat, skinny, short, whatever. One leg, two legs, I don't care.
Yeah.
Everybody can come in here and make a difference and make a lot of money and be really well rewarded for it. However, the bad news about wholesaling is this: anybody can do it, and it's a very low barrier of entry. And there are people that are just scumbags that come into this business and
Yeah.
make it difficult for all of us and give us a very bad
Yeah.
reputation. So that's what we're always fighting against. So we want to be the people. We want to be that that shining light. And we don't work with people who are dickheads. I've fired plenty of clients who do
Oh, yeah.
things that are unscrupulous. I don't want my name attached to that in
Yeah.
any way, because there are plenty of people out there that are doing it right and want to grow and want to help people. So
Yeah.
we're on the same boat there.
And that's what's going to give you longevity in this
Yeah.
industry. When I got started, I wanted to make this a career and a living that blesses my family for
Yeah.
generations to come. And the only way that I'm going to do that is by doing right by people
Yeah.
and making sure that I'm looking at the long-term vision and not a short capital gain.
Sure.
Because there's always going to be opportunities to maybe snake somebody or do something wrong. But at the end of the day, you know, and God knows, and it all comes out. It all comes out at the end of
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah. I've got some friends who are Southern Baptist ministers. You know how they are. And
Yeah,
they're fiery. And I always say, listen, this is not that complicated. I
yeah,
know in every decision I make, whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision. You
exactly.
know, I don't need a degree in theology to know, and hopefully most people are wired that way. But
Yeah,
yeah, we should be making the right decisions. You want to do that. Um, I would say I'm sure there are plenty of people that don't like me for whatever reason, but it will never be some old woman at 10 o'clock on a Friday night in Walmart going, that guy screwed me. It's
exactly.
not going to happen. There's just, I'm not going to do that. I will cut you out of your contract. I will make no money on the deal, whatever it is. It's just, man, it's just not worth it.
Exactly.
There's no upside to that.
Agree.
But there are plenty of people that will do it, that will cut people out of their, screw them on the JV contract or whatever it is.
Yeah. And so that's what the community's about. Like a
Love it.
lot of our members have that servant mentality
Hmm.
and just focusing on the long term, not just a quick short term check, right? Like what makes sense for everybody? How can we bless, everybody involved?
Hmm.
And again, I say too that your success in real estate investing is somebody else's miracle because
Love
what
that.
real estate has also allowed us to do, now we have a nonprofit. And
Really?
every single month, we go out and we do a huge community cookout for the homeless. Every month,
Love
been
that,
doing it
man.
for 6 years now.
Hmm.
Real estate helps fuel that, right? My wife works in the business full time. My
Yeah.
daughter works in the business full time. Her boyfriend works in the business.
Mhm. Man,
So,
I love that, man. Especially helping with our rentals. We've done a lot of stuff with the Veterans Coalition and the Homeless Coalition. Do you guys have like a link where people can donate to that? Because I'd love to put it in the notes.
I need to get one.
We
Yeah,
need to get one and let us
I
know.
do
And
need
we'll
to get
we'll
one.
add it into these notes afterwards because I think that's important. And you would get a lot of support from the
Yeah,
community. I know real estate is a very great community of people that always want to help.
yeah. And we literally, it's what's amazing is if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I have a huge smoker. We pull up literally in a
Love it.
vacant lot. We start cooking, serving, and now we're serving
Amazing.
up to 300 meals a month.
Dang, that's
Every single
fantastic,
month.
man. Thank you for
Every,
doing that. That's amazing. I love
oh,
that.
absolutely.
That's wonderful. Cool. Well, tell me a little bit more about your community and kind of some of the students. And I know I'm keeping you a little long here, but I definitely want to dig into that and hear about some of the successes they've had and kind of what that looks like to work with you.
What's amazing for our community is we're a melting pot. We literally have members who are scaling this to full-blown businesses that are
Mhm.
actually doing six figures a month in wholesales.
Nice. Good
We
job.
have people who are just buying rentals. Um, we got people that specialize in midterm rentals, short-term rentals,
Hmm.
and so it's everybody all over. You know,
Hmm.
I think with the community, especially, I work with people who are just getting started. Okay,
Love it.
this is how we can get you direct to seller, doing your first fix and flip, doing your first wholesale,
Hmm.
buying your first rental, right? So I get people in the door and help
Yeah.
them get started making money and closing deals in real estate.
Yeah, and that's so important because getting that first deal, even when we were running a big nationwide wholesaling operation, even our new hires, our new team members, getting them to that first deal because now they have, oh my God, this really works. This isn't a
Yeah,
scam, right? They get that kind of proof of concept, and once they cash that first check, then it's great and it's exciting, and that gives them the fuel to keep
yeah,
going. But I think communities, it's so important, man. I think it's something that's often overlooked.
it is.
I tell people like this can be a lonely business. If you're
Yeah,
just sitting at your kitchen table, kind of making phone calls, being told that you suck, and all the crazy things that people will say to you, and you feel like you're the only one in the world that's going through this, and everybody else on Instagram's got a Rolex and a Lambo and a private jet, then
oh
you feel like you can feel like you're doing something wrong. So
for sure.
I, the advice I always give, and whenever I'm on a podcast, I always want to know what's one piece of advice. I'm like, dude, find a tribe,
Yeah,
find people that you can run with that, you could see their success. You could see them having a tough day. They can help you. You help them. But
Yeah.
you're all doing this together, and there's strength in that cohesion, the numbers of that.
Oh, agree. Iron sharpens iron. But it's so
Yeah.
funny you mentioned that about, the Rolex and the Lamborghini. It was at one season where I started comparing myself, right?
Yeah.
Like minimizing the success that I've already
Yeah.
had. And I'm like, why don't I have a Lamborghini yet? Why don't I have this, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to tell everybody, do not compare your first deal to somebody's 100th deal,
Right.
their 1,000th deal, right? Like, I don't even want a Lamborghini. I probably can't fit in one, right? So let a known haul cattle with it. So
Yeah. Right.
it's but it was one of those things where it was kind of sucking the joy out of me, and I had
Yeah.
to just step back and realize, like, no, I've
Mhm.
actually accomplished quite a bit just
Yeah.
because I don't have, something that you see on social media. So
Right.
I do think that, especially for new listeners or people just
Mhm.
getting into the industry, be very careful here to
Yeah.
not go down that rabbit hole, because it's easy to do.
It is easy. And I think part of that is, the mindset that we have as hustlers and entrepreneurs and business people of always wanting to achieve more. And, the part of us that gets us out of the starting gate and keeps
Yeah,
us going is also the part, it's like a sickness. I used to tell people, it's,
yeah,
we're not right in the head, it takes a
yeah,
special kind of person to do this. So it is hard that you're always like, oh, this guy's doing that, I need to be doing that too. And that part of it is good because it fuels the growth, but you can't get down on yourself.
yeah.
Look at that stuff and be
Be inspired.
inspired and aspire to it, but don't let it put you down for sure.
Yeah, agree. Definitely agree on that. And
Nice.
that's why, like, one of the trainings that I do is actually called the One Property Away Masterclass,
Love it.
where if we can just get most people to do that first deal, then they
Mhm.
have proof of concept. Then they see that,
Yeah.
okay, this actually works. We
Right.
can worry about building an empire later on. Let's
Mhm.
get you your first deal right now,
Yeah.
and then we can get to the second deal and then the
Yeah.
third deal.
Yeah. I'll take that first deal's like your first girlfriend, man. I was out doing a little video the other day driving for dollars, and we drove by the first house in Chattanooga that I closed as a wholesale deal. And I'll remember, funny enough, I own a rental across the street now, but yeah, you will always remember that's the deal that kicked off the empire. That's
Exactly.
the one, but you got to get to the first one. You're absolutely right.
Got to get to the first one.
Yeah. Clifford, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? I mean, you're, a charming, engaging guy, and that's going to resonate with a lot of people, and certainly your message and, just the qualities that you espouse. I absolutely love it. What's the best way for people to find out more about you? Maybe follow you or get info on your coaching.
I'm not hard to find. Clifford the Cowboy Closer, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook,
Hmm.
across all social media platforms.
Nice,
I'm doing really better now at putting out YouTube videos and training videos on YouTube every single
yeah,
week now. So they can
nice.
definitely check that out and go on there.
Cool. Yeah, it's I tell people I have a face for radio. I didn't like any of this way back then, but
Uh,
it's important. Branding is a real thing, and now that I've got a little platform, I have the ability to bring on new friends and talk and learn about their business. So it's been really great.
yes, sir. I love it.
Cool, Clifford. Thank you so much, man, for jumping on. I do appreciate it, and hopefully we're going to do a lot of business in the future here.
Let's do it, brother.